podcast. My name is Jeff, and I'm joined as always by Paul. And we've got a very special guest with us, returning for his I don't know, I've lost count. Umpteenth guest appearance.
Loads.
And we're here to talk about
one of the fam.
We're here to talk about new Doctor Who. In the form of comics and novels and audio adventures, and with the Circuit Breaker series.
Yay.
So, good evening, Jonathan Wilkins from Titan Comics.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Oh my goodness, happy Circuit Breaker Day, guys.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
Off we go.
It's been a long time in the build-up, hasn't it?
Not quite long enough for me. I needed a little bit more time. We were rushing but the deadline's always fast approaching.
They always do, yeah. They approach with an inevitability that cannot be stopped.
Absolutely.
I think Douglas Adams has a quote for it somewhere, but I can't pull it off the top of my head at this time.
Yeah, he loves the whooshing noise as they go by, but
we
haven't got that luxury. Unfortunately, I would be fired. He could get away with it.
So has it been quite intense then? It's been quite a long time in the making?
It has been a long time in the making. Intense, maybe not the word. I think it's obviously you're part of a bigger team than normal, if you like. There's a lot going on there. There she is. Look at that! Wow. And you feel kind of, because we're kind of the first. Obviously there was the online story, but we're the first sort of. Project out there. There's a genuine sense of you cannot miss a deadline, because otherwise it all will get put out and everything will be pushed back and the BBC will be furious and we'll be in big trouble. So it's been kind of a little bit of a frantic rush, but in a good way, because in a good way. You're working on Doctor Who, so of course that's fun.
That's always good.
How long have you been working on it then? Because it was announced about a year or more ago that it was happening, and
we've been working on it. Oh gosh, what's the quote from Day of the Doctor? I've been working on this for a very long time. It's like and I guess I'm the eyebrows coming in at the end. It's well over a year and a bit. I think really we've been battling away with it and making sure it's right and getting everything in place from start to finish. So it takes a long time, but it's when it goes out and it's out in the stores, it's and on Kindles and things, and you get people's reactions, good or bad. It suddenly becomes real, and it's a life. It has a life then, and that's kind of the bit where you can just take a breath.
Yeah. Because there must have been a time before we all heard about it that this was all being discussed behind closed doors. Were you guys part of that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you get you're you know about things, and obviously you can't tell anyone. So you have to be able to keep a secret, but then Titan, we're very good at keeping secrets.
Very good at that.
We're very good at keeping secrets. I mean, the stuff we're working on now and the stuff we've worked on in the past. We used to do lost magazines. So if anyone can keep a secret, it's us. We're still keeping lost secrets to this day, I think.
It's part of Doctor Who, isn't it? But part of the creative Doctor Who experience.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So how did Circuit Breaker as a project, a concept, come about? What's your kind of knowledge of that, and how were Titan brought in? Because when we spoke to Esme Jackimi Pearson a while ago, who's sort of been leading it, hasn't she? She said she'd been working on a multimedia project with Chris Chibnall for the Jodie's Doctor, which I think COVID kind of put the stop to. So I wondered if this was a sort of development from that. So what's the history of it that you know of?
Well, the kind of history of it is first and foremost, these multimedia things, be it Time Lord Victorious or even Doomsday, they they showcase, you know, the different licensees' projects and what everyone does, and they're all very different, very original, you know, different media. Because Doctor Who obviously Doctor Who is predominantly a TV show, but it works in all these different media, and it's really nice to show that off. And with something like Circuit Breaker, you can really go to town because we're not sort of as tied to a current Doctor, current companion who, you know, you've got to basically reset everything at the end and put the toys neatly back in the box. We can really kind of go to town with this and do stuff that is, you know, kind of break some rules, much like the Fugitive Doctor herself. We try and break some rules because, you know, the thing with these stories as well is you're always trying to surprise the reader, and that's not always easy in licensed publishing. There's a sort of you know, it's like it's often the way you just get sort of like I say, you have to put everything back and
you
leave it as you found it.
Like,
absolutely. You know, it's so this is a very different approach, and it's, I think of all the multimedia that have been done so far, from what I know of what's coming, you know, I think this is probably the best. I think this is, people are going to love what's coming up.
It's a very strong start so far.
Yeah, it is. I'd already read the is it called Calling the Doctor, the piece that went out on the website. I read it, and then we tried to read it when we were recording the podcast, and the website didn't work. So that was a great start to that. We got a 404 error, but it was a good little sort of beginning bit, and then, you know, going into the first issue of the comic here. Yeah, I think, you know, because let's be honest, you know, the previous multimedia things have been somewhat hit and miss, and you know, the receptions have been quite mixed, varied at best. But there feels like a real excitement for this. I think the roadmap for it is more cohesive than what's been done before, and I think there's also a lot of excitement to see the Fugitive Doctor take a you know, a spot like this and have Joe back, and, you know, all of that, and also I expect, because the main show was, you know, finished for the foreseeable, you know, there's now, you know, a renewed interest in this, because this is, you know,
new content,
new Doctor Who, you know, and it's in many ways literally new, because it's the Fugitive Doctor, so it's kind of exploring something that we've not spent that much time with.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. And I think the thing with the Fugitive is she's very much uncharted territory. You know, when you think of, you know, Jo's a fantastic actress, and in the show, you think she's been in it more than she actually has.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You know, she's kind of had a couple of cameo things, and she's this great mystery to be uncovered, but maybe we don't want to know too much about, you know, who she is, where she comes into the story. But I think, you know, there's a lot to explore, but hopefully while still keeping, you know, the Doctor Who mystery. I don't think with Doctor Who we should ever know too much.
No, I think we talked about that before, Paul, maybe in relation to the Big Finish audios. It's nice to get you know, bits of kind of you know, backstory and things, but her whole thing is the mystery, and so if you suddenly start giving it all away, then it somewhat undoes the character in some ways, a bit like, you know, the Time War. You know, the Time War was this great thing, and it was a mystery and, you know, hints and things like that, and then they kind of started getting right into it, and I know, you know, a lot of that is really good, but at the same time you kind of think, did we need to do that? You know, did we need to hear
lift the veil?
Lift the veil. So, you know, there's a few things here that, you know, give a little bit more to Fugitive, but without blowing it all, and you know, like,
hopefully,
you know, meeting the Daleks and stuff, and, you know, having no idea, you know, who they are, and
well,
you know,
we thought I remembered an interview many years ago about I think it was when Doctor Who was off air in in the wilderness years, and Mark Gatiss was really advocating doing, a series of Doctor Who where the canon was reset, and his thing was episode 1 the Doctor runs into the Daleks, and what's that, Doctor? I don't know. And that kind of really appealed to me, that idea, and that's something obviously we can do with the Fugitive Doctor. And of course, without giving too much away, running into the Daleks, she doesn't know. She doesn't know how dangerous they are. Yeah. She they seem actually maybe not so dangerous to her. She's like that confrontation with the Dalek. I mean, I love that. Who are you? Explain. And it's the classic sort of eyeball to eye stalk confrontation, which I kind of like. You
get that in a panel, don't you? There's a panel where it's that iconic confrontation, like you said, the eye stalk to the Doctor's profile, which is kind of cool. There it is. Yeah, Jess brought it up there. Yeah, she gets her moment. Yeah, because I guess the thing with the Fugitive Doctor, then, I mean, because in many ways, it's like you can kind of ignore the mystery, or you can just, like you said, you can sort of throw a few tantalising references to it. But actually, the story is what's happening now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And the interest, like you said, is kind of how she reacts in a surprising way, an almost non-Doctorish or proto-Doctorish way to what's going on around her. That's primarily where the fuel for the story comes from, right?
Yeah, we really like that this version is, very different to the past Doctor, or the future ones, I should say. And Osgood and Andrew are sort of, we thought you'd be compassionate and things, and she's just basically like, shut up and let me get on with it. And
let me get the job done and then go.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that sort of, she's so different to what we're used to, but you can clearly see, she's sort of torn between doing that and being that way, and being told this is what we kind of expect of the Doctor.
I mean, I always thought she was, described when we were working on it as she's very no nonsense. The other Doctors are nonsense. They love nonsense. Tom Baker's loves nonsense. Even John Bertie liked being silly. Or, there's no point growing up if you can't be childhood. This is like a serious, no nonsense, get the job done. If she was a TV show, she'd be the Sweeney. She'd be kicking a door down and sort of driving a car through some cardboard boxes or something. So it's a really, I love that take on the character. It's a great character to explore.
But she's quite witty as well, isn't she? There's a lot of humour in there, and okay, some of it is quite acerbic, but there's a lot of warmth in the humour as well. She, despite all the spikiness, she actually kind of cares about the humans within this little story.
She does, but I don't think she really wants them to know that. I don't think. I think that's the inner character occasionally breaking through. That's her future self maybe breaking through a little bit. But yeah, she's very much. She's funny. Like, make no mistake. There's no. She's not like this very sort of dour character by any stretch, but
it's not all one note, is it? There are layers within even this little story. Really, there's a lot of depth, and there's a lot of ups and downs in the story and in the characterization, which is why I love. I love it when you get all that packed in a relatively short space.
Well, it's
quite a skill.
The credit has to go to Dan Waters and Dulce Montoya, who A, they write a brilliant story, but B, they really sort of did their research into this Doctor and what she is and who she is and who she is at this point of the story. That it's kind of important that she's written this way, because over the course of circuit breaker stuff, I'll say no more, but her character this is the start of her journey, let's say. So yeah.
So how much did you have to work with Esme on the planning for this? Did you talk to Chris Chibnall at all and Joe Martin about everything?
To be honest, we work with Esme insofar as we sort of submitted the idea for the story, and she had some notes. We work with a tremendous, I say young man, which sounds incredibly patronising, but everybody seems young to me.
Everyone's getting younger.
It's called James Page, who has been phenomenally patient through the whole process, and really helpful with notes and ideas and stuff that has essentially just made the story, just get better and better through various drafts, through the artwork and things. So, it's one of those things, I always thought like a collaborative effort. It would be, oh no, it has to be my idea. But actually, people come in with really good ideas, and credits where it's due. Everybody has kind of chipped in, and I don't think we've had a single idea on this that's been no.
It's all kind of worked together. Then it's all.
Yeah, it has. It's like a happy family. It's incredibly boring. I wish there was more scandal, but
we want drama.
We want drama, exactly. So, so it's been fun to do in that respect because it's just been a lot of very happy collaboration.
That's pretty good. Was there ever a point where the story for this Circuit Breaker, this issue 1 in Titan, was there ever a point where it looked like it was going to be too big, too massive, any stuff that you had to kind of take out, or was it pretty well self-contained from the off?
It was pretty self-contained from the off. I mean, so each issue is a double issue, I should say, which I'm not sure we've kind of marketed that quite as a great.
I thought it's a bumper side.
Yeah, it is.
It's a bumper issue.
So we've done 2 stories, and they're both sort of feature length, editions. So we kind of got everything in there, and the thing with Doctor Who, I mean, with the best will in the world, I think you look back at some of the TV episodes, certainly of the classic series, and you think there's a lot that could be cut from that, actually. There's a lot of people being captured and escaping, and, the stuff leading up to cliffhangers that, doesn't necessarily serve the story.
A little bit of fluff.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love every minute of it. That's by no means a criticism, but with the comic, we kind of wanted to keep the pace up, and hopefully, there isn't a moment where you can draw breath. It's sort of, once you've picked up the comic, you're there and reading it the entire way through, unless you're being called to your tea. In that case, that's fine.
You have to break off. I mean, it does read really well, actually. I don't know about you, Jeff, but I mean, I read it in one go. So I kind of thought, well, let's have a look at it first off, because I thought I've got work to do. It arrived in the middle of my day, and I'm like, okay. And then before I knew it, it's like, I'd read the end of it and enjoyed every minute of it. I think the artwork is superb. We talked about the writing, but I think the artwork is just is phenomenal. It's so good. It just carries so much atmosphere and emotion, and I'd say drama, because there is drama, but it's quite light drama in a way. Would that be fair, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, our pencil artist and inker, Roberta Ingranata, is a sort of veteran of Fugitive Doctor, because she did the Origins story a couple of years back. So she was kind of an obvious choice to sort of get back drawing the Fugitive Doctor, and I think she's done a fantastic job. And our colorist Valentina is again a stalwart colorist on the Doctor Who title, and she's absolutely fantastic. We've kind of put her through her paces on the next issue, which we will no doubt discuss at a later date. But yeah, she's. I think she's knocked it out the park, quite frankly. I think it's a really cool. And I mean, I don't envy her having to do the Doctor's new shirt design and the patterns and the colours and the hat. So, but thankfully there's lots of reference material, so she's kind of nailed it, I think.
Yeah, it's great that there was a new shoot for Joe there, and I'm sort of hoping there's images we haven't yet seen from all of that.
Yeah, we were very pleased about that, because it's finding new images.
Yeah.
I'm sure the DWM guys will say the same thing. It's not always easy, when there's a small number of images and to choose from, and having, a couple of years ago worked on Star Wars, where everything is photographed to death. That Star Wars is crazy. There's so many images from Star Wars no one's ever seen. It's just crazy. But with Doctor Who, obviously, it's a slightly smaller budget, and therefore not necessarily as much time to do those photo shoots. But we were kind of spoiled for choice, and there's some great photos. I mean, I love the one of Joe with the gun there, the Doctor with the resistor.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I remember when, just on the photos thing, I remember, there was kind of a spoof article in DWM that, was it the Matrix Databank? No, the Watcher, I think it was, or something anyway. And there was I remember one of them made a mention of, it was like News from the Future or something, and it was like the last ever photograph of Paul McGann has been used. That was it. There's Paul McGann as a Doctor anyway, because all we'd had was a TV movie. But then of course we got the reshoot when he did, was it Stranded, I think? And he put for Big Finish, something for Big Finish, wasn't it? And then he did a whole new. So now suddenly there's a whole bunch of more source material. But that was, of course, when there was literally no Doctor Who on the TV, so and certainly no real Eighth Doctor stuff. So it's always good fun, and it it kind of shows that there's a lot of love out there. Whatever people may feel about the BBC and its relationship with Doctor Who, I think looking at something like this and the care and attention that's been put in, and all the investment from all the different licensees, it shows that there is a lot of love still out there for the concept, for the show Doctor Who. They want it to survive.
Let me tell you something, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but the folk who I work with at the BBC, who approve the stuff we do, and they really care about it, and I know they really care about it because they have a lot to say about it. And sometimes it might be, oh, you really want to change this to this, I've got to tell the colour. But that's because they care. That doesn't, if there was a sense of indifference of fine, just throw that out into the, then I'd say the show was in trouble. But there's no sign of that. And people do care about Doctor Who. Members of the public, do care about Doctor Who because they remember it. They remember watching it as kids. They remember 20 years ago watching Doomsday. They remember 40 years ago watching whatever was 40 years ago, Trial of a Time Lord. Maybe they don't remember that. But that's but so I think it's sort of slightly beyond what present day concerns and what newspapers might say. Yeah. The show is it's an eternal thing. It really is, and it's I've got a strong. I don't have any specialist knowledge of this at all, by the way, but I think it will be back, and I think it will be back sooner rather than later. Yeah, there we go. Let's hope so. But that doesn't come from any discussions I've had or any knowledge of. I just have to put my hair. That's just a feeling in my water.
It's a feeling in his water. He's seen it in the tea leaves.
Absolutely.
So, how much of the whole Circuit Breaker, series have you read, or are you aware of? Have you read the book that Joe's written?
I haven't. No. I know roughly what's coming up, but I certainly haven't. I haven't listened or read it too much of what's coming up in depth at all. Mainly because just as a fan, I want to enjoy where the story goes. Obviously, you kind of have an idea of where the story goes in terms of, so we know for our story what we're doing. But it's a slightly different thing to be a fan than you have the opportunity to be a fan and because this is like this year's Doctor Who season. This is like a flashback season, if you like, Doctor Who. So I think it's really cool. And if it was the TV show, I wouldn't want to know what's going to happen. No. It's never as good the scripts are never as good as what's on the screen. What's on the screen is where it really comes together. But I wanted to just say, like, talking about the colouring and so forth. Sorry, just in the comic, we made a very conscious decision. I don't know if you noticed, but our Dalek in the story is quite an original. He's a Dead Planet Mark One Dalek with the black. And I was it's a little Easter egg in a way, because I wanted to kind of just play around with the colours and so forth, but that Dalek was sort of inspired by the Dalek that's on the cover of the Mutation of Time, the Dalek Master Plan novelisation. And while we were doing this was around the time that the episodes from Dalek Master Plan were recovered. So I just thought it'd be quite nice.
Right.
For
of course.
That sort of Dalek to sort of appear. But then I thought, actually, let's make it one of the Mark ones, because I do like the Mark ones without the, the slats and the mesh around the sides. So so it was a case of just doing something a little bit different, and another Dalek variant appears.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah.
So I kind of like, that's where that came from.
So you probably can't say, but do you know if other Doctors appear in this story? Because all the items are connected to Doctors, aren't they?
In the comic or the
in the whole thing,
in the whole circuit breaker thing.
And I just remembered that you tease a mysterious figure, don't you, in the first comic?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder who that is. Okay, no, there's I can tell you there is, in the second comic, there is a reference to a past, or is it a future Doctor?
Ooh.
But I won't say any more than that.
Oh, that's intriguing.
You'll have to read it.
When's the next issue out?
The next issue is out on, I think it's the first week of August.
Oh, that's not long then, is it?
So
it's not too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Oh, that's exciting, because I know you're obviously really. Obviously you loved the first one, this one, but I think from what you've been saying to us, there's a lot of passion towards the second one, the next instalment.
Well, yes. I mean, the second one, how can I tease this without ruining it? The second one, you will see things you've never seen in Doctor Who history.
Whoa.
And you will see... Oh, my goodness. How do I put this without using the right word? Okay. You will... If you love the Daleks, you'll be quite amazed by this. There's one particular splash page, like the big full thing, that is just absolutely crazy.
Oh, he's getting me excited.
I'm excited, and I've forgotten what I was talking about. I'm very excited. So yes, that's the next. That's the next episode.
That's the next one.
All ties into. All ties into the whole circuit breaker experience.
Interesting. I was going to say, because you talk about like putting the toys in the box, and one thing these stories enable you to do is kind of have maybe a lot more freedom, a lot more fun, and try a few more adventurous things.
Yeah.
But is there a kind of responsibility to the ongoing narrative of the whole circuit break thing? I mean, I think this issue 1 is quite self-contained. There's the framework of the Doctor having to go out and sort this relic thing out that she's kind of discovered, that was in the Black Archive, has to be returned or whatever it is. But is things happening beyond that story, and do you have a sort of responsibility to kind of add to that and tease it in the right way?
Well, obviously, when we get our notes from the creative team, there'll be hey, can you mention this, or can you have this in it? I mean, and you won't necessarily always know what it is. I mean, in this case, we did know why we were, why such and such appears and why that certain thing is hidden in the archive or so. Anyway, there we are. So, as we go, and when we have the pencils or at script stage, it'll be let's put in. You'll get a note just saying, "Can you mention this?" or "Can you?" Can we have a sort of cameo from the Mox of Balhoun? We don't have a cameo from the Mox of Balhoun. Now we mention it, I'm kind of sad about that, but there's no way to put the Mox of Balhoun in this story.
Could be like an ominous shadow or something on the rack of stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe one day in the future we'll try and put the Mox of Balhoun in. I mean, we got a monoid on the cover of the San Diego.
There you go.
Special covers, so you never know.
So, with this series, would you say that each instalment is as potentially important as the others? Because with the past ones, I felt that, like with Time Lord Victorious, you kind of only really needed to read the two novels they did to kind of get the kind of bulk of the story, and all the other stuff kind of filled things in and fleshed things out and everything. But it sort of feels a little bit like this one has got more kind of principal bits that you need to get hold of, but then there's other bits that are nice to do's.
I think you would like it if you dipped in. I think you would bloody love it if you read the whole thing.
Yeah,
because it does link together, and it does it is sort of an experience. It's like, can you imagine? And I'm going to regret saying this. Can you imagine watching The Trial of a Time Lord but leaving out Mind Warp? It's like Mind Warp's fantastic, but
brilliant.
You'll miss so much. You'll miss a lot of the motivation, what's to come, a lot of the character bits. So I think you do. It, like I say, you can enjoy Terror of the Vervoids as its own thing. You can enjoy Mysterious Planet as its own thing, but put the other bits together, and you've suddenly the complete story is always going to be better, I think.
And I think in fairness with this, I'm just trying to find the roadmap online. Oh, here you go. There's a number of elements in it that I think are kind of free to access and things, aren't there?
Yeah.
So you can look at them if you want to or not, and because I know in the past people have sort of complained that these things are expensive to sort of follow and things, but you've had a piece on the unit website, then there's a game that I'm assuming will be free to access, another piece on the unit site, another game, and then a couple of audios, and they don't all have to be, you're not having to pay for all of them, which I think is quite good. It's a good balance.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I think the stuff on the website, I think in particular, is fantastic. I think there's a lot of care and attention gone into that, and having Joe back to do little bits for that, I think is really good. That really works nicely. So yeah, I think it's it sort of gives a nice complete picture of the whole event.
Yeah, it does. I'm just looking again. Yeah, it does look really good. Let me just bring this up again. So there's a piece in, I guess, DWM.
That's right.
A couple of weeks, and then there's a Deadliest Weapon audio, which is possibly the BBC one, and then there's Dawn of the Daleks, which is from you, Jonathan.
It's absolutely, it's about a Dalek called Dawn, who no, it just reminds me that a while back there was a small book called Sting of the Zygons. The Zygon is secretly Stuart Copeland or something.
Maybe Sting is a Zygon.
Another piece on the hold on. There's another piece on the unit website with the Weeping Angels, and there's something called The Doctor and the Three Witches, which is a book. But I think that's a small sort of chapter basically in Time Lord fairy tales, maybe. I don't believe it's its own book. And then there's another game, and the DVD Blu-ray set, which I guess is just kind of past Fugitive appearances. There's nothing kind of particularly new to that. And then I think it's Kaleidoscope is the one that Joe's written, which has got the silence in it. And then there's 2 big finishes to kind of end everything.
It's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, but it also feels like it's not as much as they've done before on these things,
right.
and this is more manageable, I think. So,
I think so, and I have to say, like, you know, knowing other people that have been working on the various things at Big Finish and at BBC Audio and BBC Books and DDO, everybody's really put their heart and soul into it. We've all worked really hard on this to make sure it's the best it can be. So. Hopefully that is reflected in how people feel when they read and listen to it all, because it's it's a lot of love has gone into it, I think.
Yeah, well, if it's anything like the comic, then it's if it's going to be at that sort of level, because that is such a strong start, you know, then I think we're onto something quite special.
Oh yeah, no, I think so.
Looking forward to it. So we will come back and talk to you again. We're not finished for now.
Where's that leash?
We'll come back and talk more about Dawn and her Daleks,
and her destiny.
When we've discovered some more of that. But what would you like to hint at about things that you might be working on at the moment for the line?
More hints. He doesn't answer much, does he? Blimey.
I can't really hint on anything yet. I mean, I'll just say again, like, watch out for Dawn of the Daleks. I think it's a really, really good story. I'm genuinely, like, the art and the colours and the story. There's some great one-liners. There's that you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll...
Wow.
I can almost guarantee you'll get to the end of it and want to read it again.
That's always a good litmus test.
I'd love to undersell things. But yeah, it's a really lovely... and we've got, you know, some great covers for that particular edition. So...
is it Dan Watters again?
Dan is back in action. Dan and Dulce Montoya, his writing partner, they've written, you know, the story, and it's oh my goodness, there's the stuff I could tell you, but then it's better to actually experience the story. Like, you wouldn't want if I told you, you'd resent me forever, because it's so much better.
Spoil it for us.
I know, like, we don't like spoilers, do we?
Why did you tell us that?
I know, but oh my God, wait till you read it.
Tease.
He's really selling it. I'll tell you now, it's getting me excited.
I just remembered.
Uh-oh.
I think you've done it. That thing that you were doing the other day.
That thing.
Have you done it now? And did you see anything to do with that thing?
Oh, that's a mystery.
Oh.
I probably can't talk about it at the moment because there's an embargo. But yes, there's definitely an embargo. If it's the thing today.
Yes, it was.
Yes. Yes, no, I'm heavily embargoed. I will genuinely be shot. There's a sniper pointing at me as we speak.
See the laser dot on his forehead.
Yeah, but I'll tell you when.
Let's finish recording.
Yeah, of course, very much so.
So what else is going on in the world of Titan at the moment? That's not Who related. What else are you working on?
We are currently working on Highlander, which is based on the original screenplay for Highlander. Oh. So it's not quite the Highlander that made it to the cinemas. It's the original draft. It's being written by the original writer and creator of Highlander. And that is kind of the big one at the moment. Certainly the big one I can talk about at the moment. Yeah, this would be so much more fun without those NDAs, wouldn't it?
I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
But yeah, so Highlander, which is coming up in November. So I think I'm sort of the time travel person at Titan. I think I'm doing all the time travel stuff now. Not that Highlander is really time travel.
Yeah, send it to Jonathan. He'll do it. He'll do a good job.
Or can he make it about time travel? Well,
yeah. It needs something, this story. It's a little bit flat at the moment. I think it needs time travel. Send it to Jonathan.
Just put some time travel in it. Yeah, exactly. So that's the big one at the moment, Highlander.
And when's that? November, you said it was, yeah?
That's in November, yeah.
Okay. One issue?
No, it's going to be 4 issues, and then a lovely big deluxe graphic novel.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to have the individual issues, but then, some people love to have the books on their bookshelves and the sort of collected editions. So yeah, that's the plan. Anyway.
Great.
Nice. Good. And is there any more 15th Doctor coming through?
Oh,
or?
Who knows? We're looking at plans for next year. There could be 15th. There could be 16th. Who knows?
Who knows how it's going to pan out?
No. Who knows? It's actually the 27th Doctor we're going to do
time travel. Again,
yeah, absolutely.
Free from continuity.
Yeah, absolutely.
But how was the because the last 15th Doctor story you did seemed to be pretty successful. I mean, that must have gone down pretty well, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think people enjoyed it. I think it's as with kind of the Fugitive Doctor in a way, there's a thirst for more stories featuring that Doctor. So it's really nice to be able to, make a contribution to that sort of run and, introduce some interesting new characters and things. So I hope people really enjoyed it. It seemed to be a good reaction.
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
It's good.
I'm sure we haven't seen the last of the 15th Doctor.
No, absolutely not. Well, he was at Centre Court yesterday, wasn't he?
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
he was.
So, did you get some new action figures recently as well?
Yeah, look at that shelf. It's packed.
It's honestly, there was an avalanche.
Did you mean a literal avalanche?
There was an avalanche of Cybermen which took out. Well, it kind of went all the way across and took out the Sontabs. But I don't mind that because I just enjoy rearranging them. So just when you lose the weapons and things, that's the crazy thing. But yeah, like I think as ever, I don't need to tell you guys, but I think Al has done us proud with the toys, and I think he's the sales speak for themselves. Really, I think they're sold out every time.
Yeah, record time.
And like it's those Cybermen. I think they're amongst the best they've ever done, frankly.
Yeah.
I think they're really good. And lots more good stuff to come. So so well done, Al. Good stuff.
Well done,
shouting. He's closed in the next room. But
He'll be there listening. He's chiselling away, listening to the podcast.
But, that's another example of someone who, very skilled at what he does, expert at what he does, but also a massive fan and knows what fans want, knows how to, keep us all happy. And sort of, he's kind of like, he's one of us, except he makes amazing toys. So, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're one of us, and you make amazing comics.
Exactly.
So
Thank you. That's what I was fishing for. Well done, Jeff. He's taken the hint at last. It's only taken 5 podcasts to get there.
Yeah, 46 minutes on this one. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, boy.
So I have to notice also behind you, you've got a picture of Jill Gerarda's Buck Rogers there.
Jill Gerarda, Buck Rogers, and Debbie Harry.
Is it Debbie Harry?
It's Debbie Harry from Blondie, dressed as a girl guide, which sounds really weird. But it's when she was on the Muppets. She appeared on the Muppet Show and did a number with the Muppets. And that is an original piece of art that was on the cover of a magazine back in the day called Lookin'.
I remember Lookin'. Yes, the ITV mag. Yeah. It was Sapphire and Steel and what have you in it.
Sapphire and Steel, and I think they had weird comic strip based on Benny Hill, which of course I don't think you would do that now.
You've reopened a wound there. I think I deliberately forgotten that.
But. Benny Holcott. But that's a lovely piece of original art. So she looks really tiny in that picture because originally she was in a sort of a box, but the painting was done as is, and then the box was overlaid on it. So she was in her own separate compartment. There we are.
Right. Okay.
There we are. Little art lesson.
At least we know where it comes from. I can stop looking at it. I was trying to figure out who it was looking up at him so endearingly. It all makes sense.
It's Mini Debbie Harrier. It's either that or Wee Jimmy
Debbie
Cranky.
Harry dressed as a because I was trying to think, is it Wilma Deering? When does she ever wear a neckerchief? I was trying to think, did I miss an episode or something? Anyway,
you wouldn't have missed that one. No.
I would not have missed that one. So what else have you been watching that's not Doctor Who related? What have you been up to? Reading, gaming,
well, I've had some really awful news. Our television stopped working, so
I'm so sorry, mate.
Which we've got a lovely projector that we watch stuff projected, and it's really nice. And it stopped working, so we've had to watch things on still quite a large plasma TV. So it's not the biggest hardship in the world.
Yeah.
But my wife and I both had quite stiff necks because we're used to sitting like that, and we've been sitting like looking down. What I have been watching, and I made a list here because I knew you'd ask this, and I always forget.
It's made a list. That's what I like.
We've been watching Spider Noir
with
Nicolas Cage. I think it's really good, and it's really interesting. You can choose each episode whether you watch it in like this really nice Technicolor or black and white.
Ooh.
Like the mono, the old 1930s style.
Raymond Chandler stuff.
Obviously, the purist is like, it's Spider Noir. It's meant to be in that noir. So, but actually, the colour's really nice. It's like Technicolor. It's really beautiful. And so we're about 4 episodes into that, and it's very good, very different. I think it's interesting. Sony, I think, have given a really hard time about how they've handled the Spider-Man franchise in terms of, I don't know, Madame Web, for example, or Kraven the Hunter, or those films. But their handling of the actual core Spider-Man character has been, I think, brilliant, because you think of Across the Spider-Verse, the Spider Noir, really, really good, really good. So we've been really enjoying that. I can never resist watching a bit of old television. So every so often there'll be an old show, and I just think network DVD used to put out, those things, and you kind of watch them with one eye on it, one eye on reading a book or whatever. I've been watching a show called The Orson Welles Mysteries.
Oh, okay.
Which is, now I don't know the full history of the show. It's a little bit like a half hour, almost like a drama.
Right.
But what's fascinating, it's introduced by Orson Welles, but it was filmed over here, and I get the feeling they had a show and then they thought, we need something as a selling point. Oh, I know, Orson Welles is free. But what was interesting is one episode I was watching, it was all introduced by Orson Welles, and he said his largest and his most sort of, I say largest in all senses, and his most sort of profound and provocative and so forth. So he introduced an episode which features Colin Baker.
Oh, really?
And it's Colin Baker and Orson Welles in the same show.
I mean, how many times does that happen?
It was nearly cast in Mark of the Ride. No.
Stop it.
But yeah, it's one of those shows. I don't think you would ever call it a great show, but it's funny because I always watch these shows and then, he was in Doctor Who, or I read that actor from this one. Who's that actor?
That's the fan gene right there.
Absolutely. You spot these things. So they're my 2 things. And then the last thing, which we're waiting for the TV to be repaired, which will be tomorrow. So say a prayer for us tonight that the guys are coming to fix the TV. There's a show called Widow's Bay that I'm really keen on watching, which is a kind of a horror type comedy thing, but I've deliberately avoided learning too much about it.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit about that. I haven't got around to it, but yeah.
Widow's Bay.
Same sort of thing. I just want to, if I'm going to watch it, I just want to watch it. I don't want to know anything. I genuinely detest knowing too much about these things before I go in.
No,
Jeff's looking it up now.
I am,
look at him. It's right up your street, Jeff, by the look of things. It's so far up your street you could put a sign on it with your name and call it Jeff Alley.
Sounds quite good.
Yeah, it's
he looks weird without his glasses, doesn't he? Look, he's taking his glasses off.
That might be quite interesting. What's it on? Oh, Apple. Oh, forget it.
Apple. Oh, no.
Apple. Can't watch it.
Cancel one and then do Apple. Just switch between them both. Honestly, it's easy, mate. Bothered. Yeah. Lazy. You subscribe to one for a month, you binge it, then you cancel your subscription, then you do another one, binge that one. And
I know you can.
You don't want to pay like 20, what is it? I don't know, 15, 20 quid a month, $9.99 or whatever it is for these things.
You've got to go hell for leather, though, yeah. Well, you've got to keep Disney, but have you got Netflix? Netflix can probably go. I can't imagine. Is there anything good on Netflix?
No, my wife.
I know the kids watch a lot on Netflix, actually.
Ali watches quite a lot on it, I don't tend to watch much.
Anyway, it's all good fun.
Mind.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And I hope people watching and listening have, if they haven't already read the Titan Circuit Breaker comic,
do it now!
Get out there to your local comic book shop, pick it up, or download it on Kindle to have a read, and look out for the next issue. And let us know what you think of the Circuit Breaker series as well as it progresses.
And I should say, Jeff, Jeff and Paul, do not forget the we've got the Fugitive Doctor. We've actually captured the Fugitive Doctor.
Yes.
We've actually captured her.
Yes.
The division members working at the Forbidden Planet, Shaftesbury Avenue,
rounded her up.
Have captured her, and she will be in store on, I believe it's August the 8th. Correct me if I'm wrong. Singing. Not singing, but signing. But maybe
signing. How exciting is that?
She's such a lovely person. I'm sure she'll sing if you ask her to. I'm sure that's what
8th of August, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Forbidden Planet.
And she will be signing various variant covers and all sorts of things. And
that's got to be
very exciting. And I'll be there as well. So if anyone wants to come and attack me or... Not attack me, sorry. Not want to attack me, but anyone wants to come and chat Doctor Who with me, I'd be very pleased to say hello.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it, unfortunately, but I would love to.
Jeff, no, you haven't got work to do. Come on.
No, well, I go away the week after for a week, so for work, so I need to be with the kids, really.
So there you go. So there's a space vacated by Jeff.
Yeah.
There we are.
Ready to be filled by anybody out there. Get along. It's going to be fun.
Get in line. Be ready.
All right.
Fabulous. Well, gents, it's been emotional as always.
It always is.
It is, isn't it?
I'm going to go and have a little cry.
Jonathan, a pleasure as always to have you back on. I hope you're going to come and see us when Circuit Breaker Titan Comics' next story is out, and then we can talk about that without all the NDAs and stuff, and you can maybe get into other things yet to come. But as Jeff said, if you haven't seen it already, go out there, grab this Titan Comics Circuit Breakers with the Fugitive Doctor. It is brilliant. Genuinely recommend that. It is so good, and a really good start to a very strong series. As you said, it's probably this year's season of Doctor Who, the whole Circuit Breaker thing. So as a fan, you owe it to yourself to do that. Right. Yes. On that note, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on Who Corner to Corner.
Bye.
Bye for now.